Hello YouTube! This is a replacement video for my prior video on the same subject. This video will be a brief overview of my end station design. Now this station design is not a row, it's not a through station, it's an end station. So this is perfect for putting into a city. So you have a city growing around the station so you can dump off a lot of goods into the city for late game money making. Also, another note, I use this station almost exclusively for this task when I'm playing on servers, and I pretty much only play on servers, and the servers I tend to play on tend to be Marcos servers, which have a long train length, and I use max length trains. So that'll come into the design in a little bit. What this design aims to do is to minimize level crossings. So if you look here at the station mouth, there are no level crossings. A level crossing is where you got something like this where you've got trains that can go either direction. You don't want that because that will lock trains behind each other and cause problems. So this has no level crossings. Another side effect of the fact that it has no level crossings, it's very simple to remember the layout, and it's easy and quick to build. A major downside is that because it has no level crossings, it's very long. And this is a setup for a 6-length train, and you see how long it is for a 6-length train. And I usually play with like size 12 or 16 trains. I forget exactly how long Marcos are set to. So with longer trains, this gets even longer, but I wanted to make it fit on one screen nice and easy to show it off so it's easy to understand. All right, let's look at the benefits. Trains come in here and they exit right here. So I put it at this edge here for ease of building this. But if you wanted to optimize the design a little bit, you could move the input to be like here and just reconfigure how this works here. That is a possibility to optimize the design a very small amount. I just don't do that because it's too complicated to do. This is much faster and easier to build than trying to do that. And when you're playing on a server and you can't pause, time is important. All right. So there's no level grade crossings. And another benefit is that it's almost as fast as a roll-on, roll-off station or a row station. The reason why it's almost as fast as a row is because there are no level crossings, and so each bay is basically refilled with the train as soon as it's cleared, which is the exact same thing that happens with a roll-on, roll-off design. The major difference is that this design has to have queue bays, whereas row stations don't have queue bays. The platform themselves are the queue bays, essentially, in row designs. However, row designs require rails to go through and thus aren't very good for towns or city stations. Another nice benefit of this design is it's very narrow. It's only one track wider than the width of your station. So I have seen a lot of station designs lately that are very wide or very complicated to build. And for the benefits they offer over this design, they just aren't worth it in my opinion. So hopefully you guys can make good use of this in your games. Like I said, another thing is that the problems that this design has are primarily the fact that it has queue bays, and the performance of the station is directly related to how saturated the line is with trains. If the line isn't fully saturated, the performance of this design is not maximized. And like I said before, it is a very long layout. That is a downside. A quick note, if you're building this design, is that I did this for a 6-length train, which means that this queue bay right here needs to be 5 long between these two lights so that a 6-length train will be sitting on this tile here, preventing this light from being a valid end point for an incoming train. That way a train will go to the next queue bay rather than this one if there's a train already in it. I also like to put my train depots at the end of the station, each bay in the station. The reason is that trains are hard limited to a specific speed when they are entering or exiting a depot. I think it's something like 40 miles per hour, but I could be wrong on that. It's been a long time since I've looked at this. So in late game, when you've got trains like maglevs that go extremely fast, the hard limiter of that speed cap when you're entering or exiting a depot can clog up your lines really quickly and cause really bad inefficiencies to happen in your train system. So to limit that, I put one each bay for the station. The downside is it's very difficult to keep track of where all your trains go when you send a train to the depot, because you have to basically open up every single depot at each end station on the line. Which, as you can imagine, is very annoying when you're doing like mass upgrades and stuff like this. A quick tip before I end this video is that always go down before going back up to your train level when possible. You never want to go the other way. You never want to go up before you go down. The reason is that going down is basically free. The train doesn't have to pull when it's going down if it's already at speed. It also helps trains accelerate to get up to speed. They don't have to start pulling until the last car is basically done pushing down the hill. And so for long trains, a quick dip down and then back up is basically free. The engine basically doesn't have to do any pulling to keep the train moving. Whereas going the other direction, the train has to first pull the train up the hill before it gets the free coast down. Much more efficient to go down and then back up. Alright, I think that about covers everything. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you have any issues, please let me know. Thank you very much. Have a great day.